Okay, I've been called upon to make this video about what the Matrix is and how to get out of it for real. So, drawing on the first Matrix movie from 1999, 999, an emergence year, a year of great revelation, it goes into what the Matrix is. The world as we see it, as we know it, as it appears, is a holographic, illusory projection from some realm. And this shakes up one of the individual characters called Neo, which also means new in Greek, but also the anagram of one. So this shakes up his whole reality, and he basically starts to think he's going insane. If nothing's real, then who am I? He gets very existential. I'm nothing. I'm just another guy. Why is this happening to me? And stuff like that. So he then encounters Morpheus, who is the god of dreams in Greek mythology. Now, this is very significant because Morpheus serves as a kind of bridge or stepping stone to the greater reality, uh, which is the fact that you've been living in a dream world. Like all of this existence as we know it, or reality as we know it, is in fact just a dream. But where is the dream coming from? Where is it being projected by? And philosophers like Descartes, who famously said, "I think, therefore I am," came up with the idea of the evil genius. There's an evil genius somewhere up in the sky dreaming all this and fooling all of its dream creatures into thinking that their lives are actually real. Now, that's very sinister. And of course, if you've seen the Matrix trilogy, there are agents in the Matrix, there are sentinels, there are all these sinister elements um, that reveal the fact that within the whole Matrix construct, there are controllers or archons, so to speak, who try to manipulate perception, how we see the world, how we see ourselves, how we see others. And this manipulation of perception comes through programming or programs. So, the Matrix, as we know it today, is the world of Maya, or the illusion, or matter. And we see people going around in society like, hamsters on a wheel. This is the wheel of samsara. And the highways are, designed a bit like those rat mazes you see in experiments. So when you're driving on a highway, from an objective perspective, you see that, holy shit, this is a fucking rat maze, and I'm in it. And it's like, okay, what is this all about? So, of course, uh, Neo, um, I'm speaking about this trilogy from a more allegorical, metaphorical perspective, which is with some philosophy and uh, Vedic spirituality, you'll see. Neo goes on to really want to penetrate the mystery of the Matrix and who's behind it. Who is behind it? So, in the second film, he meets the architect, and in Freemasonry, they worship the great architect of the universe, of course. And the architect appears like your typical godlike representation in religious paintings. Old man with the white beard. Um, and the architect is very dry, very intellectual, very scientific. He's It's all left brain. There's no heart or anything, and he uses big words in order to confuse Neo and the audience because most of the audience who's watching that scene with the architect, it's like, I don't know. This is like a higher dimensional thinking. But if you take apart the script, you realize that, okay, this is a highly advanced being, but he too is just another program. He's not the ultimate reality. So, if we turn to the Vedas, each universe or matrix contains a Brahma. A Brahma is like an old man with a white beard, and he, the Brahma, is the engineer and, uh, yeah, not the maintainer, but he is the engineer and the architect of that specific universe. But even that engineer is like a secondary creator. There's something above him, even. So, and at times, even the architect or engineer of the universe is forgetful of the fact that actually he's not the ultimate reality. There is more to it. So this is the arrogance of the architect, really. And he says to Neo, you have a choice. You can either save humanity, be the savior, or you go with your heart and save your girlfriend who you love, basically. And of course, um, he insults Neo by saying, "Oh yeah, I knew you were going to do that anyway. All the chemicals, were pointing in that direction anyway." And hope is the quintessential human delusion, and no matter what you do, she is going to die, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But he goes in anyway and saves his girlfriend Trinity. So in a way, that personal love and affection um, kind of overrides Neo's predestined, pre-programmed savior complex to save Zion, save the world. And then he realizes that before him there were other ones, other saviors. It's a bit like the avatars in the Vedas, like different incarnations that came down for a specific purpose to save humanity. And so he's very thrown by this. That it's like, well, if I am the one, and there's been others before me, then maybe I am just another program. So he begins to really question his reality. And when it comes to like realizing yourself, you gotta wonder, is that part of my destiny, or is it just pre-programmed? And you get into many layers of wondering what the ultimate reality is. So it gets very confusing. So someone made a video about decoding the Matrix and rightly said that part one is about what the Matrix is, defining it. Part two is how did we get here? And that goes a lot into, free will versus determinism versus like, is free will actually part of the deterministic program anyway? Or is determinism part of the archonic agenda? And does free will really stand on its own as a real thing that's not just a program? And are our behaviors and choices acts of free will, or are they really predetermined or pre-scripted from who knows what? So it gets very intellectually and philosophically juicy, the second one. And then finally, Matrix 3, Revolutions, is about how we get out of the Matrix. And up to this point, Neo has been fighting his arch nemesis, the ultimate archon, um, Agent Smith, who is everywhere. He duplicates himself. And if you've seen Matrix 4, he says at the end of it, I can be anyone. I can literally be anyone. So that goes into, really sinister territory about, if you have friends or family who seem suddenly possessed in some way, that's probably the Agent Smith program coming on and say, oh, he's thinking differently or doing something differently, or, and then they kind of attack you in a certain way. So that's he's been fighting that program, the Agent Smith program, and no matter how all pervasive Agent Smith is, Neo just keeps fighting. He's like a Hydra. You kill one Agent Smith, and then 5 or 10 more appear. And ultimately, he realizes that yes, it is inevitable, and Neo surrenders. And this comes as a huge shock to the audience, because of course we all want Neo to win and save the world in the end. But in the end, he technically loses, surrenders, and allows Agent Smith to basically enter him, and so that's that. There's no more Neo. But then all the Smiths explode and are destroyed because of that surrender. The balance is restored. So what happens from a Vedic point of view is he has surrendered to the ultimate reality, which is Advaita, or non-dual, choiceless awareness. That the only thing that keeps this matrix alive is duality. There's a separation between you and I, good and evil. All these polarities are two sides of the same coin, having a dance. It's a dance of energy, ultimately. And the most violent and hypocritical religion has actually been Christianity. In the name of God, they kill people. So, and then they call themselves good people because their God is higher than theirs. They say you should have no idols, worship no idols except the living God. And yet, they have idols of Mother Mary, idols of Jesus Christ in their own churches. So, hypocrisy. But back to Advaita, the point is Neo realizes that fighting is ultimately futile, that the inevitable that Agent Smith actually talks about is the inevitability of oneness, of non-dual awareness, of not two. Two is the illusion. There is only one. And then finally Neo gets it and he's like, okay, I'm ready. And then he explodes into this light, this infinite light, and you see the cross, the crucifix, in a light form, exploding outward into the universe. So in a way, he is really aligned with the true essence of Christ, which is this selfless oneness, realizing that I am the self of that one self, which is I, you, all of us. There is no, there are no others. The idea of others is Maya or the Matrix or the false projection. So what we see as existence is simply a manifestation. The point is, because you are unborn, because you are eternal, you don't exist. I don't exist. I do not exist. I am here. I am everywhere. How can you exist if you are unborn and eternal? So, this very existence is that kind of running anxiety we all have. That's the program. Existence is the program. Duality is the program. And then finally, Neo realizes this. Yes, okay. Each moment is a new moment. I am one, but so is everything. Everything is one. So he sacrifices that savior complex because we're all banking on him like saving everyone. He does, but not through fighting. Ironically, fighting in the first two films, fighting is the stepping stone to realizing that you don't need to fight. So you can't really bypass fighting. You have to fight in order to realize that you don't have to. So that's his ultimate realization. The same goes for the religious concept of being a soul that needs to be saved by God. And of course, to worship Jesus Christ or Buddha or Allah or Krishna is a very valid stepping stone to self-realization. Because they are divine, they are more aware or conscious of what reality is. But always there's the question, are they just matrix programs as well? Are they just, in a matrix of their own making? The ultimate reality is one. So, of course, you can surrender your soul, which is another construct within the matrix dream, to God, a God that maybe resonates with you, um, until you realize you don't have to, because you are Brahman. It is Brahman. All is Brahman. How can Brahman be a soul and a person and God? And of course, it's many levels. This game has many levels. This Matrix game has many, many levels. At the lower level, you have what we're seeing in the world today with the mass psyops we're seeing, with the medical fascism and this fake war. And everyone's distracted. Ooh, this is real. This is happening. It's a show for your mind. That's it. It's not real. At a higher level, you realize, oh, the world is an illusion, everything's fake, I've been lied to, and I want to lead a clean, pure, and good life, and surrender my soul to higher things, the divine, or God, Jesus Christ. And that's a necessary path to take, because that purifies you. That will purify you. And then once you get to that level, you realize, okay, I feel better, but I'm still in a dream. I'm still dreaming here. And most people want to be in that dream heaven, and that's perfectly fine. But what if that is still a running samsara of its own? The question is, do you want to be happy or do you want to be free? Because once you realize that it's all one, it's all Brahman, then you not only liberate yourself, but also all beings, including God. And God's job is to be another controller, the supreme controller. Another archon, but a good archon, a benevolent one, but it's still an archon of sorts, a controller. Free your mind. As the God of Dreams says, free your mind. And of course, nobody makes the first jump. But once you do, you'll be able to fly again. So, if you want to keep playing the game, by all means do it. You have every right. You have the free will to play the game. After all, is the game not fun? It's fun. It's fun. Until you realize that nothing is real, you don't exist, and there is only one reality, which is that Brahman. Then you can truly, truly, truly unplug and say, I'm not even playing anymore. I am out of the game. You look around you and realize, yes, The game is over. It's game over. And just be. And just be the eternal being that you are. I love you. It's all love. And love comes in many forms and expressions. The programs don't understand love. At the end of Matrix 3, Agent Smith says, love is just an illusion, like the Matrix itself. So insipid, how you just cling on to it. But Neo, in the end, becomes the Christ and dies in love. And that love means knowing that we are one. Then he comes back. And then he comes back. Why? Because we are eternal. We are eternal. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, never was there a time I did not exist, nor you, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So, indeed, within the whole matrix construct, the universe dream, there is time and space, existence. The non-existence is the bridge between another existence or incarnation. And within the dream, the universe construct, that's all real. We'll be recycling ourselves into infinite forms. But if you truly want to be free and get out for real from the matrix forever, you must know that everything is just a dream. Only you, the Eternal One, the Self, Brahman, is. Who is the One? You are the One. Thank you.